I've got something to share with you today because it is summer and it is getting warmer and it is beach season for those of us living down here, down under in Australia and in New Zealand, and it's certainly getting very warm. So let's flip over, because to start off with, I do want to introduce you to something or someone, or anyway, it's very, very exciting. Let me just flip you over and I will show you. So I am going to introduce you to Baby Betty. I was absolutely thrilled to get this gorgeous mini stamp cut and emboss machine. Isn't it absolutely the cutest? And it really does work so well. It's the same, exactly the same as the bigger one, except smaller. So it is now my Baby Betty, and I just love it. It is so light. The plates, you have all the plates that come with it as well. And just to show you the difference, so this is the Baby Betty and this is Mama Betty, and of course that's a bit heavier, but that is the size of the two of them together. Absolutely in love. So if you are in New Zealand and want to join my team to get one of these now, you can, or they will be available in January, and they are the cutest, my Baby Betty. So I'm just going to pop them out the way. Oop. They are super, super cute. So let's pop that. Now let's get started. I will show you the card that we're going to be making today. Now that is so exciting. I'm holding off until the next quarter. It is, yeah, it is really cute. Absolutely love it. It is amazing. So I will show you. Now I did see this quite a few months ago from stamping through the catalogue. Now I'm not quite sure who did it originally, but I always meant to do it, and I just thought now that it's summer, how perfect to be doing that right now. So I will show you. Now I will show you a couple of ways. This is the card we're going to be doing today. Now it looks far more complicated than it is, and I will show you how quick and easy. So there are two ways. I'll show you one way that we're going to do today, and I will compare it for you. This is being white embossed, so that is a different way to do it. If you want the white foam to really stand out, you can add, and also the craft ink that we're using certainly does take a long time to dry. I left mine for about 24 hours, I must admit, and I still had to use the heat gun to just dry it off a bit, but certainly worth waiting. And if you don't want to wait, as I say, you can just use the white embossing powder. Okay, so I've just grabbed the large acrylic block that we have, and this is the fluid 100 paper that I've popped on here. So I've just taped it on with some old washi tape, leaving just a little bit of a clear piece around the edge, because I want to use that as the frame. Now if anything does happen, like the ink goes underneath, you don't really need to worry about that, because you can just cut it down. So it does give you that little bit of leeway. Okay, so I am going to, now when I did the other one, I didn't use this brush, but I thought I would try this one today. It is the large brush. I just love this brush. This is my absolute favorite, this size. So we are going to start off. Now the colors are all very appropriate. I'm going to start off with Sahara Sand, and I've just got ink that I've popped in to the ink pad here. So I'm just gonna give that, oops, that's blue, I might turn that over. I thought I'd wash that. Oh, it's on the side there. That's what it is. That won't matter, because we'll use that, because I did reuse this and the ink is still on the side, so I will have to be very careful. So I'm just going to dip it into the Sahara sand, and I'm just going to start off with a bit of a shoreline, and it doesn't have to be too exact. Might bring it up a little bit more because it is sand after all. And we are just going to cover that. Now we'll add a little bit more into the corner, just giving some different depth to the colour. You don't need to put too much water on it. Okay, now the other thing that you can do, I'll just do this edge a bit darker, and this really helps. Now I will add some, and I did have it here somewhere, I'll use this bit of card. I don't really want the ink to get over to there, so I'm just going to pop that there, and then I'm going to use the lid, and I'm just going to add some flecks. Now that will give some depth, some texture to the sand. That will dry, it will spread out and dry, and it won't look like dots so much, but just give a little bit of texture. Okay. So what I might do quickly, get my chamois, keep my chamois in an old stamp container so that it stays nice and moist. And I'm going to get the skinny brush just for a minute, and I might just bring that line up a little bit more, just a finer line. Okay, and then we are going to start off with Coastal Cabana. And I'm just going to, once again, I'm just going to leave a tiny white space. It doesn't have to be perfect at all, but just to leave a little bit of a space there. And if you have lighter and darker colours all mixing in together, it's perfect, because that is obviously what the ocean is going to be like. So I'm just adding, and sort of do a nice swishing sort of pattern, because you're wanting to get a little bit of movement in there. And so down the bottom, so that was Coastal Cabana. Actually, I'll leave that out because I'll come back to that. And this is Pacific Point. So this is a lovely, bright, gorgeous blue. Just get it a little bit wetter there. So just blending them in a little bit. It's a little bit messy, but this Fluid 100 paper is just amazing to work with. I think I might have gone under there, but that's all right, because as I say, we can fix that up later. Okay, what I'm going to do now is give it a little bit of a blow dry. Now I usually try and avoid using the heat tool, so I do apologise, but I will just need to blast a little bit, because if you add a bit of colour after this part, then you do get a little bit more texture. So I do apologise. but it is just a gorgeous effect with these colours, and with the Fluid 100 paper it really does move the colours really, really well. This would be the longest part, and as I say, if you white emboss, don't they look good together? I love them together. They just really go well. And it certainly is so nice to have the heat here. And I'm pleased the sheep are behaving. We've got one particular sheep that really doesn't sound like a sheep. Sounds like someone's burping loudly and rudely. Okay. Oops. I always seem to get crooked. Okay, now what I like to do is just come back. I'll come back with this smaller one with a little bit of colour. I'm just going to add, I do like to do it up this way a little bit. I'm just going to add a darker colour. Now I have reused this, so it may leak out the side. Now I will add some more specks this time, and it will, because this is dry, it will stay looking like dots. And I better put my card back on there. I don't want big brown dots in the water. Mind you, that could be fish or something underneath. And of course there is a stamp that you can use with dots as well, but I thought I'd just flick. It doesn't seem to be wanting to come out very well. There we go. Cool. And now I'll just add a little bit more to the blue. Let's get rid of this brown. I might use the big one for this. The big one just is so easy to do the swishy motions. So I'm just swishing it side to side, and this just adds, because it's dry, you can add more colour without it blending together as much. There we go. Now the next part is using your craft ink. So I just get a tiny, you only need a very, very small amount, and I'm going to pop this on to my block. And actually, before I do any of that, I should know myself by now, I've got to close up my stamp pads. Okay, so I have got a older pen. So those are the new water painters, and this is the old aqua pens, which I decided I would use for this, just because it is older and I'm not as worried about. You do need to get the white ink off straight away, because it does, which I don't want it to be that wet. Hang on. You want it moist but not soaking. And then you are just going to add, and I think I got that too wet on there, some little bits of white. Now it's supposed to look frothy, so you just add it. I might add a bit of, I watered that down just a little bit. It is quite thick, and it does take that time to dry, but so just, there's absolutely no right or wrong, if you know what I mean, as I always say. and just add some more wave, like the incoming waves. Just add now, if you wanted to white emboss it, if you're wanting to make the card for someone now and you didn't want to wait, now's the time to put the white embossing powder on. To just wipe that brush to get the instant dry. So I am now just going to grab the smaller brush that I had and just darken the edges where the just really highlights the white. If you can just add a little bit of the colour in here. And we'll do the same. Here's the blue. It really just makes that white, pop. There we go. And when that's dry, the last thing I do is actually add Winker Stella on there, and that gives that really shimmery, glimmery sort of water look, which it's not quite dry, but I have done one earlier, so I don't have to blast you with the gun yet again. So I will bring that on and I'll pop that to one side. Now, so I have used Pretty Peacock, it is, I think, yeah, for the card base, just 10.5 and scored at 14.8, and this is the fish. Now I should show you the set, that might help. This is the Well Done set. I just love this, absolutely love the papers that this comes with. I have seen some stunning cards and I love all the papers. I've made quite a few cards myself just with the papers. They are so beautiful with the turtles swimming, etc. Just amazing. But the only thing I'm using out of it this time is the whale, which I have cut out already. And this is the one that I have done previously. Now I will put the Winker Stella on here. And this really does just give that water that shimmery, hot, shimmery summer's day look. So this is the white craft ink dried, as I say, and we'll put this one together and then I will show you the difference. I think I like, if you've got the patience, I think I like the craft ink dried. It's sort of a softer, more sort of oceany look, but totally up to you. So let's get some glue, and you will probably, once you've made the card, because we've used the Fluid 100 paper, so you have to give it quite a good covering of glue. It is quite good to sometimes put something heavy on top, because this does warp a little bit when it's wet, and it will flatten out if you just put something heavy on it. There we go. So I just love that colour combination with these colours. I think it just looked really, really good. Okay, and slightly crooked. There we go. That's the beauty of glue. Now, this is from the stamp set as well. Hoping all your birthday fishes come true. How cute is that? And I have cut out from the dies from the Come Sail Away suite. Just this one here a couple of times in Pretty Peacock and Bumblebee. So I'm just going to use those for embellishments behind. And this is the braided linen ribbon, which we're going to, well, I'll show you now. We're going to just spread it out like this. And this to me looks like close to like being a net or something very sort of more beach-like. And all you have to do is just grab the ribbon on each side and just pull it out, and you have a totally different look with that. And we're going to pop that on. Okay, so let's start putting some of this together. Now I will grab my dimensionals. This is just pop. Okay, 3. It really is super humid here today, and it's not even proper, well, full on summer. Summer is officially December 1, but we tend to not get really warm until December, January, so very blessed at the moment. Hopefully it stays that way. So I'm just going to pop that over before I put that on. I'm going to pop that under there, and this is going to go, oh, now I should tell you, of course, how I cut out my sentiment. I used the banner punch from the Christmas catalogue. It is the Banner's Pick and Punch, and this is just so amazing. I've used that so often, and I will use the whale punch to cut out the whale. And I've put my finger in the white ink, as you can see. Okay, now I'm just going to arrange these. I'll probably cut some of this off actually, so I will lift that up a little bit. So let me grab my scissors, and I'm going to trim that down, not too much. I just don't want it too high. Okay, that can go there, and then I've got a yellow one as well, just to break it up a bit. And the whale, you have this on the designer series paper, and the punch fits them absolutely perfectly. They come in different colours. I might find the DSP in a minute, and I just chose this one as it really does match my card. So I am just going to tuck them under there, so I only need a little bit of glue on the top part. And under there. Not that the whale, one hopes that the whale would not be on the beach, of course. That would not be good. I'll just bring that out over to there a little bit, and you'd be helping to try and get it back, I think. Now, I do need a couple of glue dots to keep this in place. So I will grab my one. Glue dots are absolutely amazing for that, aren't they? If you want something to stay in place, just grab a glue dot. Okay, just because I want to sort of give it a bit of movement really, so I'm just going to put it down there, and then Just wind it up under there as well. If I can get it to go under there. There we go. Brilliant. And I'll just pull those out a little bit more. And then lastly, I'm going to add some shells. And this is the Whale of a Time sequins, absolutely perfect for this. And I will pop a little bit of glue. There we go. And hopefully I'm going to do this quick and easy with my fabulous Pick Me tool and the wonderful putty that's in there for this very thing. Except I don't want to put that on my card. Oop. There we go. Okay, perfect. Right, and that is the card. As I say, I have used the fish out of here, and I have stamped in Pretty Peacock the shoal of fish, the school of fish on the inside, and that is my beachy card. So this is the two with the white embossing powder. Oh, and I have lost my yellow bit. Huh. I'll glue that down later. There we go. So this is with the more of the just using the ink, the keeping the ink, craft ink, and letting it dry. As I say, it does take a little bit long to dry, but it is, I do quite like that soft look, and that is the white embossing powder. And this was the one that we just did. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have give watercolouring a go. I absolutely love watercolouring. So I just wanted to share this with you. It does look difficult, but I find it's, once you sit down and do something a couple of times, it actually isn't that hard. And just adding these amazing embellishments on the top just really make a beautiful card, and perfect for someone who loves the ocean. So take care, and I really look forward to seeing you all again next week. And please do attach a photo if you create a card similar to this. I would absolutely love to see it. So happy week. Bye.